Welcome to this episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. I'm Taylor Burton-Edwards, Liturgy Man with Discipleship Ministries of the United Methodist Church. I'm your apportionment dollars at work to help you strengthen worship and the understanding of worship where you are. Today's question comes to us from a variety of people over the years, as I've encountered them through my ministry across the Connectional Church in both Discipleship Ministries and United Methodist Communications. And that is, does the United Methodist Church have an official translation of the Bible in English that it expects all of its congregations to use? The answer to that question is, we do not. There is no translation you are required to use in English or any other language. You're free to use whatever translation you choose and that works best in your context. That said, what you will probably notice in a lot of United Methodist related publications, whether they come from the United Methodist Publishing House or through Upper Room Books or through Discipleship Resources, is that there tends to be a preponderance of using and referring to the New Revised Standard Version or the more recent Common English Bible. Why is that? Well, the New Revised Standard Version still represents, in a certain way, sort of the pinnacle of the ecumenical work around Bible translation coming out of the United States in English. It was put together by the National Council, the Churches of Christ, ecumenical body, who chose some of the best scholars they could find to develop this beginning in the 1980s and completing their work in the early 90s to create a translation that was put together by a committee of Protestants, Roman Catholics, and Orthodox scholars with careful attention to both Old Testament and New Testament scholarship, to the deep understanding of biblical languages, using the best understanding and best tools available at the time to produce that translation. And so it produced a very high level of respect both in the academy and across the ecumenical churches, to the degree that there are many churches for which the New Revised Standard Version is in fact the official translation. It's the one that has to be used in the churches. This is what you'll find in the Episcopal Church, for example, where the lectionary is published for use in reading and worship in the New Revised Standard Version. You will find this in the Roman Catholic Church, that in both the U.S. and Canada, the official lectionary is in a version of the New Revised Standard Version that has been approved by the Vatican for use in worship. So there is this strong sense in which there is a very strong ecumenical and broad-based approval of that resource. Why then the Common English Bible? Why is that starting to appear in our resources? Well, in part because it was developed as a project of our own United Methodist Publishing House. It has its own strengths, which are not present in the New Revised Standard Version. The New Revised Standard Version carries on really the tradition of the King James and the Revised Standard Version, with the Tyndale behind that. So it follows in a certain way of articulating the English language that comes out to be at a roughly 11th grade reading level, which may be difficult for some people. One of the intentional efforts in developing, with an equal attention to scholarship, the Common English Bible was to produce a new translation that would sound good to largely American ears and that would be able to be accessible from about an 8th grade level. So we have these two options in our publishing, by and large, as United Methodist related entities, and they are both really strong. But again, neither of them is the official translation of the United Methodist Church. You don't have to use either one, but they are widely used. I hope this has been helpful. Remember, you can always contact me, worship at liturgyfolks.com, through our UMC Worship Facebook group, or drop a line on this page. And perhaps your question or comment will become the basis for a future episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. The peace of Christ be always with you.